So guys, we've reached the last of Mendel's laws. Like they say, good things come in threes. So we'll fill you in on the third Mendelian law, the law of independent assortment, or the independence law. This law is about several traits inherited at the same time. In this video, you'll find out what this looks like and what Mr. Mendel found digging in his garden. The law of independent assortment and the law of segregation, Mendel's second law, always refer to a single trait. That means that only one inherited feature was observed, for example, the seed colors green or yellow. The third law is a bit different. It looks at several characteristics at the same time. The law of independence states that when two homozygous individuals differ in multiple traits, each trait is inherited independently. In the second filial generation, every combination of the characteristics of the parents can occur. The best way to explain this is to look at a simple example. In his last experiment, Mendel crossed peas that differed in two characteristics, so he did not just observe the color, but also the shape of the peas' seeds. For his experiment, he crossed yellow round peas and green wrinkled peas. According to the first Mendelian law, the law of dominance, all peas in the first filial generation are the same. Since no mixed shape or other sick shit came up, we can assume that we have a dominant recessive inheritance. The features yellow and round seem to be dominant. Now we will abbreviate the characteristics. A capital G for the dominant feature yellow, a lowercase g for the recessive trait green, a capital R for a round form, and a lowercase r for the wrinkled form. The Punnett square shows the process again. The yellow round peas have the genotype 2 capital G's, 2 capital R's. That results in two alleles with capital G, capital R. They are crossed with the green wrinkled peas, which have the genotype lowercase g, lowercase g, lowercase r, lowercase r. That makes two alleles with lowercase g, lowercase r. The result is a single, uniform pea. A yellow pea with the genotype capital G, lowercase g, capital R, lowercase r. The F2 generation is where it gets exciting. This is where completely new combinations emerge. We cross two yellow and round peas from the F1 generation with the genotype capital G, lowercase g, capital R, lowercase r. Just because Punnett squares are awesome, here's another one for you. On the top left, we enter all the available combinations. But what are the possible combinations? There are four possibilities because the F1 descendants all have four possible alleles from the parental generation. Here is a quick reminder. Capital G for yellow, lowercase g for green, capital R for round, lowercase r for wrinkled. Thus, the color yellow can occur with round fruits or with wrinkled ones. Now, we already have two possibilities. Capital G, capital R, and capital G, lowercase r. The same applies to the allele for green. So again, we have two possibilities. Lowercase g, capital R, and lowercase g, lowercase r. We can now fill in the first row and first column. There are 4 times 4 possibilities for the F1 generation, so there are 16 possibilities for the F2 generation. Yay! So then, we have these new combinations. So theoretically, we have 16 possibilities, but be careful, a few are the same. In the end, 9 different genotypes emerge. Here we have the ratios of the 9 outcomes. The phenotypes then look like this. It's hard to believe, but due to the new combinations, a new form appears in the F2 generation, green round and yellow wrinkled pea seeds. We have exactly 9 round yellow peas. And there are 3 round green peas. There are also 3 yellowed wrinkled peas, while there is only 1 green wrinkled pea. So there are 4 phenotypes. Every possible combination of the characteristics. The ratios of the phenotypes is 9, 3, 3, 1. In this order, 9 dominant phenotypes with both traits, 3 dominant phenotypes with one characteristic, 3 dominant phenotypes with the other characteristic, and 1 recessive phenotype with both features. A completely new combination of traits developing proves that the two characteristics, color and form, are inherited independently from each other. Hence the name Law of Independence. So watch out, there are far more genotypes than phenotypes. Here, we have a dominant recessive inheritance. Therefore, the dominant feature always prevails, and we only have 4 different phenotypes, but 9 genotypes. Here is a summary of the most important facts. The third Mendel law is called the law of independent assortment, or the independence law. It applies when the inheritance of several characteristics are considered, just like color and form in our little pea example. The law states that individuals who differ in several characteristics each characteristic is inherited independently. It is very important, however, that the individuals in the first generation that are crossed are homozygous. The craziest combinations can develop. Before you study, you should remember that the Mendelian laws do not always apply. For example, some characteristics are not determined by only one gene, but by several. Also, gender chromosome inheritance defies Mendel's laws. Okay, that's enough of Mendel's crazy laws. See you next time!